And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
So there I was, only 4 years old, looking around and nobody was there. Nobody was there. I'm telling you, I was all alone at 4 years old. I'll never forget it. I was at a place called Fort Michilimackinac in Mackinac City, Michigan. Now, it's a fort in the state of Michigan, the United States of America, and it's a historic fort. And I was there, and there's a lot of history there. And as a small child, I wanted to understand everything. I wanted to see how everything worked. I wanted to learn about it. So you can only imagine as a small child seeing all the things in this fort, seeing the soldiers, the barracks where they used to live and what they did, and all the things laid out in front of me and all the relics and artifacts. And as I'm going through this, I'm just trying to imagine in my head what it was like to be at the fort, what it was like to live there. What did the soldier go through every day? What did the people who live there at the fort experience? And as a small child, I'm trying to take it in. Now, I can't understand everything I'm reading. I was only 4 years old, but I was fascinated by it because I was in the middle of it. And I could picture in my mind all the things going on with these pictures around me of what happened a long time ago, exactly where I was standing. And as I stood there and was taking it all in and really losing myself into this immersion of my thought and what it was like to be living the life of a soldier at Fort Michilimackinac, I snapped out of it. And I looked around, and there was nobody there. Nobody around me, no other human beings. So as any little kid, I take off running in a panic, and I run to the next building. I'm thinking, okay, well, everybody's probably in the next building, right? I just got so entrenched to learning what was going on in that building. I'll run to the next one. I ran to the next building. Nobody was there. And again, I hustled to the next building. Nobody was there. And I'm going from building to building, running, looking for my family, looking for people. And there was no one there. All of a sudden, I hear somebody say, "Hey, kid." And I look over, and it is a Department of Natural Resources officer, all in the green like a police officer, but these are the Department of Natural Resources people, and they're an officer, and they keep track of the fort. And he says, "Where's your family? Where's your family?" And I said, "I don't know. That's who I'm looking for." He said, "Well, the park is closed. The fort is closed. You got to come with me," because he was locking the place up. And I was going to get locked in there all night in the fort. I don't want to be locked in a fort all night by myself. That'd be kind of weird at 4 years old, right? So he walks me back up to the ranger station where you buy the tickets to go to the fort. And I'm there at the station with him in the souvenir shop and thinking that my parents must be there waiting for me, right? Well, no, they were gone. They were completely gone. They had left. And they didn't realize I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and we had cousins and a whole bunch of family in town with us that made this trip with us. And they went back to the campground, and they forgot about me. And by the time the night came, it was like 11:30 at night. They show up. My parents too freaked out because wonder if I'm still there. And boy, did they get an earful from the park ranger there about being able to take care of your kids and not lose track of them. But the thing I wanted to share with you is that I've never lost that curiosity. My whole life, I've always been curious of how everything works, and I could just lose myself in learning because learning is so exciting when you can just experience it and be part of it. And so life has taught me to be very curious. And oftentimes, if you're around me, you'll hear me say, "Help me to understand. Help me to understand," because I want to understand where you're coming from. And what I want you to understand today is a story like this, a story about what life has taught you, is a great thing to share when you're giving a presentation. Because as Dale Carnegie found, he never heard a talk. It didn't matter how many talks he listened to. When a person talked about something that they lived through, it always was interesting to listen to. So make sure that when you're preparing for your next talk or presentations, you're bringing in life lessons. And now you got a lot of them. There's a lot to choose from, and it will endear your audience to you because they'll find some place to relate or understand where you're coming from. So look for topics in your background. Look for things that you could share. Think about the early years and upbringing like I shared with you here today. Think about some of the struggles, which also was part of my story that I was going through. And also think about hobbies and sports and things you were engaged with. Think about special areas of knowledge that you have. Think about unique experiences you lived through. Or think about beliefs or convictions that you have. And these are all just different areas you can explore. But you know what? You've lived through it. And this is the point, to connect with your audience through your life experiences. So the next time you're going to give a presentation, tell us about what life has taught you and leave us with something to inspire us so we can make it happen in our lives. You got this. Now go make it happen.